discrepancy between men and women?
Yes, definitely.
Yes. No.
No. Yes.
Nope.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey guys, Norma here, and you're tuning into The Ugly Truth Payday. Today we'll be discussing the wage discrepancies between men and women. Women make up almost half the working population, yet they only make about 82 cents for every equivalent dollar a man makes. That's about 20% less than a man's pay. Yes, it's true. Men make more money than women do, but is it for the reasons we believe? Well, let's take a look. The implication is that women are being discriminated against. In terms, are women being paid less for equal work? In some cases, that may be true, but ideally, it's not that. It's a variety of factors. Like what, you ask? Well, that will be answered shortly by me, myself, and I, but for now, let's hear it from our first guest, Tucker Watson.
Yo, yo, yo.
Tucker will be speaking on behalf of my brother, Jordan. Jordan is an accountant for Goldman Sachs in Dallas, Texas. Unfortunately, Jordan was unable to join us today due to him being in Tokyo. But lucky for us, Tucker agreed to read on his part. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about wage discrepancies between men and women. With that being said, do you believe there is a wage discrepancy between men and women? From your answer, what factors do you think contribute to the controversial question?
Yes, but no. I definitely feel as though there is a wage discrepancy, but I'd say it's quickly closing. I think women's roles and positions professionally have increased throughout the years, and they gradually are continuing to do so.
My second guest is Griselle Maldonado. Griselle is a Brown alumni and the founder and CEO of Avanza Strategies. Damn! And here's what she had to say.
Yes, without a doubt. I believe it has to do with women being labeled as minorities. I mean, women have been discriminated for as long as I can remember. Women have always had to earn their part in society, so it would make sense people would make women earn their right to an equal paycheck. I think a lot of it has to do with people being scared of women holding so much power, and because of that, women are being penalized with their wages.
It's clear we don't have an exact answer to the question, do men get paid more than women? But we do have statistics that prove men indeed do get paid more. Not directly stating it's because women are being discriminated, but in some cases, women aren't getting paid for equal work. After conducting much research over the gender pay gap and differences in wages depending on occupation, it seemed only necessary to ask their thoughts about the research I found. Okay, I'm gonna hit you with some research, okay now? I didn't plan this, I promise. Anyway, I know you're a big soccer fan, so let's look at the gender pay gap between athletes. As recorded by Forbes.com, the U.S. Women's World Soccer team makes about 38 cents for every equivalent dollar a male athlete makes. What are your thoughts on the information I just gave you? Why do you think the gender pay gap affects athletes' pay as well? Keep in mind, the U.S. Women's Soccer team has won more than 4 World Cups than the men's team. So why do you think they get paid less?
Easy. They generate way more revenue. Men get paid more because they have sponsors. The sponsorship deals for men are ridiculously higher compared to women. Why? Because more people are watching men's soccer. For example, Barcelona gets about $140 million from Nike just to wear their clothes. Why do they get that much? Because more people are willing to watch men's soccer. So in conclusion, sponsors are willing to give them more money. Like for the Women's World Cup, although they hold more trophies than the men's team, they're still going to make less money. If they start to pay them equivalently, they'd be operating at a loss because the sponsors aren't giving the equivalent.
Do you believe the pay gap only applies to men and women, or does ethnicity have anything to do with it as well?
If women are being discriminated against, then minorities without a doubt. If it's taking this long to give women the equal pay they deserve, then who knows how long it will take those containing a different background. There's definitely a wage discrepancy between women, minorities, and men.
I mean, it definitely falls under the yes and no category as well. I believe the gap is definitely decreasing, but I can see how people would assume there is a gap. I figure it would just depend on the occupation you go into and the level of education you reach.
Although many factors contribute to the gender pay gap, Economics Blah and Khan have, and I quote, conducted research based on experimental evidence that strongly suggests discrimination cannot be discounted. To support that, Forbes.com conducted a study that found on average men take 2/3 more from bonuses than women. Though discrimination can't be opted out as a potential factor of the wage gap, research and statistics lean more toward external factors being the actual cause. It shows women tend to take on professions that fall under female traditional occupations. In terms, women take on professions that are generally less lucrative than a traditional male occupation. Moreover, women also tend to have to take off work due to maternity leave. Research proves women lose about 5% of their wages due to this leave, so a factor that contributes to women making less wages can be assumed by the time off motherhood requires. Reviewing the factors that contribute to lower wages for women can be argued over all night and day, but we unfortunately don't have time for that. In conclusion, gender gap discrepancies are factored by many things. I hope this podcast gave my listeners a better insight on wage gaps between men and women. I want to take this time to thank Jordan Murillo and Grisel Maldonado for their role in my podcast, as well as Tucker Watson for volunteering to read for Jordan. I'd also like to thank freesound.org and the free non-copyright music provided by YouTube.